We hit 1,000 followers on TikTok, and I'm just gonna jump into what exactly transpired to get me there. First and foremost, posting multiple times a day. And you might have heard that one over and over, but the reason that helped is because what it does, especially if you have a pro account, which you can get for free in the settings, by the way, is it will eventually give you an analytics about when people are watching your videos, whether they're followers or not, when is the best time basically to post the bulk of your videos. And by posting multiple times a day, like say throughout the day to start with, you can start posting like maybe one video in the morning, one video in the afternoon, one video in the evening, and then kind of look from there. And it's like, oh hey, that afternoon video is like the high time for stuff. Then you can stop posting in the morning and the evening. If you post multiple times a day, post that all in the afternoon. So there's that to start with. 2, doubling down on a niche. And what I mean is, you hear constantly about chasing trends, possibly in YouTube, TikTok, Twitch, anything really. If it's a popular game, whatever it is, you chase it. Cool. So the thing about that is though, is by niching down within a niche, say you do gaming content, you go after a game that's popular in that gaming content, and then also look at trending topics if you can. So if like Summer of Gaming 2020 was trending, that's a trending tag you could use, and then you could go into the gaming content more by being like, what's a popular game right now? Let's say it was like the Minecraft Nether update. So then that's the content you would make. You wouldn't just do Summer of Gaming, because that content, while it is trending, a lot of people are using it, hence why it's trending. And as such, you're gonna kind of disappear if you just use that by itself. You need to maybe target some of those trending tags, but then you kind of niche down. That's what I mean, like double niching down within that. So why don't we look at some actual specific examples of what I'm talking about too, so you can get some visuals. But that's like the main 2 things I did off the bat, and I did this all in about a week. I started on the 4th of July, and as of recording this, it is now the 11th. We technically hit this the night of the 10th, and I'll show you what I mean, and we'll switch scenes. Here we go. Here's actually the current account, and it's actually gone up to about 1,154 at that point in time. But this is also what I mean down here. If we go back to this one right here, okay, technically it's posted on the night of the 3rd. So 3rd to the 10th is still a week though, so I'm not wrong there. That's when the first one was posted, and I posted these 3 right here, all the way up to this one, which as you see has 143,900 views. This one ended up popping off overnight. And so when I woke up on the morning of the 4th, that's where this one, not this specific number yet, but it started taking off and it really hasn't lost steam yet. And so ever since, I've been posting 3 a day within the gaming niche, but then also within this specific game. This specific game is kind of popular right now, and so that's why I've been kind of chopping up some of my gameplay and putting it up there. And that's an example, because some people are still under the mindset that TikTok is kind of cringe, it's just like 14-year-olds or something like that. As far as I know, I'm not 14. But the reason why a lot of creators are actually still using it is this thing called discoverability. Let's talk about that really quickly before we continue on to how you can use all of these things to explode. Discoverability being one of those things. Right now, there are certain platforms where it's really hard to get discovered on. Discoverability is just kind of like your own ability to get discovered on these platforms. And the reason why TikTok is kind of important isn't necessarily because we're all great at dancing and doing dancing challenges and stuff like that. I don't do dancing challenges for that matter, right? But the thing about it is, if you can kind of, play ball with the algorithm on TikTok, which is a lot more forgiving to even people with 0 followers, what you can do is build an audience there and then transfer that audience to other platforms like YouTube, like Twitch, like Twitter, and stuff like that, right? Like we have, like people like Will Smith are on here. He doesn't need to be on TikTok. People know who and what he is, right? You have James Charles, if you know about them as well. They don't need to be on here. They're on here because they can be, and that's kind of how it works. Also, because you don't want to put all of your eggs in one basket too. Markiplier, another one. He doesn't need to be, or not Markiplier, but it is Markiplier, but it's not Markiplier, but it is Markiplier. We just don't know. Actually, no, it actually is him, but it's not him at the same time. Point is, none of those 3 people, as an example, need to be on TikTok. But the reason why you do that is kind of what I'm saying. Discoverability, you do certain things and they'll do well, and then you can transfer that audience to other places. Case in point, when we've been doing some of these clips over here, what they've been doing, right? 51,000 views, 12,000 views, 143,000 views, 8,000, 8,000. What they've been doing, if we go back over to our analytics over on YouTube, has actually been driving subs and views to this channel. We were sitting at about like 180 something subscribers about a week ago. We're almost at 220, and a lot of these 33 now in the last month. Oh wow, the watch time's gone up even more than I thought it was. If we look at our top videos, this is one of the top videos with an average watch time of 16 minutes despite being an hour-long video. It was at about 40 views, it's now at 246 views, and that's just one example, right? Like some of these have been driven up quite a bit, because then that's kind of how it works. Like, why would you want to go invest into TikTok if you're not on TikTok and you don't feel like it's really like your generation, your kind of thing, stuff like that? It's because then you can start kind of dialing stuff back into your other platforms if you do take advantage of it. But in terms of it itself, again, to reiterate, what I did is I started posting 3 times a day. And what it looked like is between 10 p.m. and midnight is when the bulk of my audience was on to be able to watch a lot of these videos and like follow me and stuff like that. So then I started posting those videos specifically within that range, and that's why a lot of these would tend to do pretty well. The ones that like quote unquote didn't do well are ones that really weren't specific to the gaming or the game itself that I was currently using at the moment. Like this one, which is still kind of better than what my stuff kind of usually did, is not one of those. This one's a relatively new one, so I don't expect it to be anywhere for at least another day even. This one is kind of like one that was kind of a mix of me doing skit comedy and also still the subject matter. So it still did like 600, which is pretty good. Same with this one. That's another thing about bringing in an audience. Now all of your stuff starts kind of doing an average a lot better than what your older stuff kind of already did. And so, again, you could, like I said, go to the Discover page. Discover page is where you can find trending topics. You have trending topics that sometimes they're a bit too narrow for what you do, and it's like hard to figure out, okay, how can I incorporate this into my stuff? I don't have, I'm not a fashion anything like that, or I'm not a food review person, I'm not a Hunger Games kind of a person and stuff like that. What can I do? You might have to stretch your content sometimes, but one of the things you can do is kind of like, if you find something that's somewhat related to what you do, then go further within that to find like I said, a game, for example, if you're doing gaming content, comedy, stuff like that. Look at specifically what exactly you can kind of even narrow down even more, but you don't want to pick a game that's like too niche, right? Like I brought up the Minecraft earlier because they just did the major update, so that's kind of like flavor of the month for a bit now, right? You don't want to pick something that's so narrow that no one's looking for. You do want to kind of target a game then if you're going to do that, for example. That is at least talked about quite a bit right now. And that's something that can be insanely helpful and gaining you an audience then that's within the niche you kind of want it to be in, but also get your foot in the door on a game that's kind of like in the works right now. Like this is actually gone up by 3, just at the point of recording this video. That's kind of how it works. Eventually then there will be spillage onto your other stuff. So what does this mean kind of going forwards, like for you, if you're watching this video and you're struggling and stuff like that, and you don't do gaming content? Because I'm using this as an example to keep it kind of very specific, or not very specific, but keep it simple, right? Instead of going like all over the places with a bunch of different niches and stuff like that. But that's why we did look at like Mark, James, and Will Smith for that matter, is because they do other kinds of stuff. You can do quite a bit of things over there, and discoverability, I think, is the secret to all of it, because then you can drive stuff to your other platforms. In a world where it maybe feels like you kind of need to rely on like a shout out, or it feels like exposure is like your biggest enemy and you can't really climb that mountain by yourself, you need to count on other people. TikTok is not necessarily something that we're all going to because we're like, oh, we're really all in on, like I said, the challenges and all the necessarily every trending topic. But it is something that you can kind of have the control back more in your hands if you're feeling in the position where you're trying to grow and you can't really catch a break. It does mean you might have to cater some stuff a little bit, but even then, right, like most of these videos are me just chopping up my gameplay videos from over here, like the funniest moments of it, and then putting it up on here in about like 30 to maybe 50-second clips, and people just actually liking and enjoying and watching it, right? Like this one that had, oh, well now it has 144,000 views, right? Like this one has 15,900 likes and 64 comments. I can't pay for that on YouTube. Not that I necessarily deserve that on YouTube. I haven't grinded enough yet on the channel, but I am saying this is basically the YouTube content just on TikTok, and then on TikTok it just did better, right? On YouTube it is doing better now because these people are funneling back that way, and I want to narrow that. I want to hammer that down a bit more because some people are still on the whole cringe train, and it's possibly that TikTok will be banned in the United States soon, which is kind of unfortunate that I've now built this up and that might just be gone in quite some time. It might not be. They've been trying to ban TikTok, to be fair, for months if not years, and it's still around, so we'll see. But all the more reason now more than ever to kind of diversify your content too. I briefly mentioned not having all of your eggs in one basket, and that's why, in case one of these platforms ever just goes away, you want to have your audience across different platforms so you can sustain yourself on different platforms. Not saying that if YouTube went down, Mark is just going to become like a TikTok specific person. probably more like Twitch or something like that, since he streams over there every Tuesday. That might be more of the route like he goes as an example, but that is a reason why you kind of want to diversify, why you even see people like Philip DeFranco over here on the side and stuff like that over there as well. In conclusion, Nags21, the VR chat guy, who now does variety content both on his new YouTube channel and as well as Twitch, had a conversation with me about my channel a bit ago, and I still remember a lot of it. But one of the things, and it's not verbatim that he mentioned, was kind of like, it's not the exact verbiage he used, but having like driving content, and it might be just a few videos, maybe even just one video that drives viewers to your rest of your videos and stuff like that. TikTok, I feel, to kind of expand on that concept, can be like your driving app to drive stuff to your other content, meaning that you make the TikTok, you get to where you need to get to, and once you get to 1,000 followers, you can then live stream and then direct people that way and stuff like that, and interact with your viewers on a different level as well. And that can be a way to kind of cultivate a community to kind of transfer to other places. But that idea, I think, is what TikTok can also be for someone that's not really all in on TikTok, but can use TikTok to kind of grow if they feel like they're struggling right now. Is TikTok can be the thing that people will kind of find you through, and then you use that to kind of drive them to other places. Now, originally, TikTok used to suppress stuff where you would kind of tell people to kind of leave TikTok and go to other platforms. The same way that if you made a YouTube video about following people over on, like getting people to follow you over on Twitch, those would be suppressed because those platforms want people to stay on their platform, not competitor platforms. But because of the whole hysteria right now, I'm not saying it's unfounded, I'm not saying it's invalid if you feel like scared about using TikTok, spyware and all that stuff. It's fine, do you. But what I am saying is, for those people that don't really care about that stuff specifically, what you can do is then use TikTok to kind of like be that driving video, that driving content to your other places right now. Because the way the algorithm is, it doesn't care if you have 0 followers. You can pop off in a week from literally doing who knows what, as long as you know what it is that you're doing. So to reiterate one last time, if I can actually articulate now with this, I should probably drink water or something too to kind of keep my throat going. With that being said, the way I did this in 1 week is because I basically started with 70 followers. So it is 1,000 followers because we are actually like quite a bit of ways now above 1,070. Basically kind of post multiple times a day. It can be as little as 2 times a day. And one trick is you can kind of build up a repertoire of videos beforehand and then kind of post a few at a time. So that way you don't have to do it every day, daily. And if you can't find the right time, you can't find the lighting and stuff like that, you already have like a good dozen videos maybe ready to go anyways. And you do that to kind of narrow down when the bulk of people are tending to watch your videos. And then when you do that, you start posting in that really great time and you look for things like hashtags and stuff like that that are kind of narrative, or not narrative, relative to, say, you know, gaming comedy, but then like a game specifically, and then you kind of grow from that. I kid you not, this is growth I haven't seen since like Vine. And even then I didn't have people follow, there was a lot of views. And this is kind of neat, but also a time to use this now more than ever, because with the hysteria, a lot of people are also downloading TikTok. Some people that are either against the hysteria, or they're just curious, like, what is TikTok? I need to download it to research it, kind of figure out what this does and stuff. Now is the biggest time as ever between that and the lockdown to be on this app, if you were going to be on this app. If you're going to ignore the app, totally fine. But yes, in relation to what I said with Nags and discoverability and like a driving content kind of a thing, those are all the tools that I basically used in about a week. This time last week, I had less than 100, and it was nowhere near that many likes, nothing like that. I have pictures down here, as a matter of fact. I could just show you guys right now. This is where I was the morning of the 4th of July. 160 followers with 3,000 likes. That was all from these videos basically right here. Before then I did, like I said, skit comedy. I did a few things here and there that were like okay, but not really that great. And then suddenly, boom, we wake up and we have this. And it's kind of just been growing ever since. And as such, as long as I do content like this, apparently it's really good. I'm going to experiment with doing content, just gaming related clips of other games. That is one of the risks you might take, is maybe this audience only likes you for a specific thing. So make sure you choose something that's broad enough that you can do a lot of videos about, but not too broad that if you were on like a trending hashtag, you would like just disappear in an instant. That's basically what I want to keep hammering home over and over, as well as the growth thing. The growth thing, I can't. It feels so simple. I feel like I'm robbing you of like the actual like secrets of how to get to like 1,000 followers in a week. But it's like, it's so volatile right now. There's so many people on it. If you just narrow, not a lot, but even just a little bit, that's how you can just replicate what I did, if not more. Because if you have more time on your hands than I do, because I'm in college full time right now, you might be able to go even further than I've gone in a week. Some people have gone 100,000 in a week, which is actually kind of pretty high than the average. but it's still like possible from someone from zero. And that's, I guess, the thing is, right? In a world where people say, you know, YouTube's saturated, Twitch is saturated, or Twitch even more so has like lack of discoverability because recommended doesn't help and stuff like that. This is a way maybe we can drive stuff to those other platforms. I would say drive stuff to platforms where you can regularly post on, like a YouTube or a Twitter first, and then from there drive them to your Twitch, because Twitch doesn't really have like an update feed specifically kind of a thing. There's like offline chat if you hang out in your own offline chat, but people don't really hang out in offline chats unless it's like Nags 21's offline chat. I'm just going to mention him a couple times in this video. Side note, you should probably go check him out if you even kind of like my stuff. So that being said, that's going to really be it for this video. We're going to switch back scenes real quick. That's really kind of it. I can't really hammer home anything too much because then I feel like I'm getting repetitive and boring and whatnot. But that really is, I swear to you, that really kind of just is it. Posting multiple times a day to narrow down a good time to post, and then finding a niche that you want, be it gaming, makeup, sports, radio, comedy, magic. If there's a niche and you think, oh, this won't do well, it already exists on TikTok probably in some capacity. You can do it. I'm telling you right now, you can do it. Yes, you can. You absolutely can. You cannot be stopped from doing it even. As a matter of fact, go ahead and do it. Also, part of it is that people don't really care about super professionalism, so don't be a perfectionist. Don't spend an hour recording what ends up being a 20-second video. Just kind of put up not necessarily the raw footage, but don't let what you see up here stop you from posting what actually could be great content, because I promise you a lot of the stuff that blew up for me doesn't even look half as good as I saw it in my mind when I was first thinking about creating it, and it's still okay, right? So with that being said, I'm going to conclude this video. It is actually way longer than I wanted it to be, but thank you so much for watching this video. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit that bell notification, the actual subscribe button. But I don't know which video will be next. We'll just have to wait and see. So until this time, take care and enjoy pizza responsibly. Thank you for watching.